Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Star, and we are here for another film review. But this one may not be as exciting as my previous two that I put out. The first one on Logan Wilson recently, and then the second on Kalen Carson. Thank you guys so much for the love that you guys have shown those two film reviews. Especially the one with Kalen Carson has just taken off. But before we get started, y'all know y'all need to hit that like button. Please hit the like button and please hit the subscribe button. We are getting closer and closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. And also comment below and let me know your thoughts. But and share. But today we are here to talk about what the hell went wrong in our game versus the Cardinals. It was a very uncharacteristic game as we had 3 fumbles, 2 lost. One we were luckily able to fall on. Javonte Williams was able to fall on a fumble that was done by Pickens, but we had multiple stall outs in the red zone, and this is 2 games now where we just cannot score in the red zone. And this was a game where we absolutely could run the ball, but had to stop running the ball because we got down so much, dealing us offense shooting our own selves in the foot with penalties and fumbles and sacks, but on top of that, our defense could not get off the field and gave up damn near 30 points to a backup quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. But without further ado, we're gonna get into it, and I do want to look at this game to answer some questions. What can we do to improve in the red zone? Is George Pickens being under-targeted? Or if not under-targeted, are his targets where they need to be? Maybe that's the better question. Are his targets where they need to be? Because there's some people saying, oh, well, Star, him and CeeDee, basically they got equal targets, but it's like, should they be having equal targets? Because as I post these stats here on the screen, when CeeDee was out, Pickens, of course, was the main target, and he was giving us 100-yard games outside of the Jets game where he almost, I don't think he got close to 100 yards, but he had some explosive plays for us. But our guy Ryan Flournoy ended up getting over 100 yards, which also makes me think of another question of why the hell is there still an argument on who our wide receiver 3 is, when we clearly have a number 3 in Ryan Flournoy who has shown up for us in big games, including this Cardinals game. He was the only person that scored a touchdown in this game. But yeah, so we want to answer that question of is George Pickens receiving the right type of targets? We had the holy grail of what our offense should look like when we played the Washington Commanders. George and CeeDee almost had, CeeDee had over 100 yards. George almost had over 100 yards. And it just was a pick your poison game, and that's the type of game that we want. That's why we got George Pickens in the first place, so that we can, if you try to double him, if you try to double CeeDee, we go to George. If you try to double George, we go to CeeDee. Basically making the defense pick a side. But it seems like we have stopped our own self recently. And our coach, I feel like our coach, Brian Schottenheimer, has overthought these games, him and the offensive staff, because we know he's been in the, these past couple weeks he was in the defensive side of the room, but him and this coaching staff have overthought a lot of things, especially in the red zone. But we are going to get into all of that today, right now. So let's start with the first play. Now, in this first play, this is at the beginning of the game, our first red zone trip. And I want to take a look at this and see what happened and why did we stall out here. So as I let this play run, you're going to see that there goes a man rushing free. So Dak has to get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible. Now, I did highlight how Pickens was bracketed. So, that would be a time where it's like, it's okay that you didn't target Pickens there because obviously he was double covered. Now, and the play was not, even though Dak had to get the ball out fast, it wasn't a negative play. But this just shows and highlights how our offensive line really, really struggled against the Cardinals. And I don't think anybody would expect any offensive line to really struggle against the Cardinals. I mean, they haven't really done much. But I mean, Josh Sweat has been in. So let me stop lying. Josh Sweat's been it. But you wouldn't really expect anybody else. I mean, outside of him, you don't really see a threat on that defensive line. I mean, Calais Campbell went off on us on this game, but I mean, he hasn't done much in years. The rookie, forgot his name, but that rookie D tackle, I mean, this was his first NFL game that he's played in. So going into the game, you would not think that, wow, our starting offensive line fully healthy is gonna get whooped by the Cardinals. But clearly that was the case. And so as we go into this next clip, we can see another stalled out red zone play. And I'm pausing it here to show that this is where I feel like, Shotty, you got too cute. You got too cute here. Why not just run the ball here? Why are we doing a triple option at the goal line? And then, of course, soft ass Ferg, that's what I'm gonna call him until he shows me otherwise. Soft ass Ferg drops the ball on some, I don't even know who that corner is, some backup corner, drops the ball, and then now we have to roll into the next play where it's an instant sack because Guyton and Steele get whipped. So this is a drive that I feel like stalled out really because of Shotty. The play calling was not good. You got too cute. You could have just ran the ball and we probably would have scored, because as I showed, if Dak had handed the ball to Javonte on that triple option, Javonte walks in the end zone, because you could see how far we were caving their backs into the end zone. So that first drive is on you, Shotty. I'm putting it on you, because that drive could have easily been finished if we had just ran the damn ball. Now, let's see what is going to happen on this next play. So, as we let it run, we seen Turpin do a motion across the formation. I believe that this was on a second down. And we can see at the bottom of the screen, CeeDee Lamb, Ferg seems to be covered. Pickens seems to be triple bracketed. So, the only person open was Turpin, and he dropped the ball. And this is a prime example of why I'm done with Turpin as a wide receiver 3. I just think that he is too small for the position. He's been really inconsistent this year. And you have someone who has been consistent. You have a wide receiver outside of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens that had a 100-yard game. You had a wide receiver that was the only one that scored in this game in Ryan Flournoy. And that's why I believe Ryan Flournoy needs to, after this bye week, I want to see Ryan Flournoy as wide receiver 3 and just let Turpin return punts and kicks. Now, on this next play, which is a third down. And you're gonna see Dak. He's gonna change the play like 2 to 3 times because I believe this was a third and long. I'm not sure. We may have got a penalty or something like that because we're pretty backed up. So Dak is like, trying to get us in the right play to convert here. And what happens? Oh, Terrence Steele gives up the instant pressure. Dak almost throws a pick and gets leveled to the ground. He almost threw a pick because his arm literally got hit and the ball just floated in the air. But Terrence Steele has been an issue as well, if we're being honest. And I know Guyton has struggled, but he's a second-year player, so we have more patience with him. But Terrence Steele at this point just is what he is. And it's pretty much showing that unless the other team doesn't know we're pass blocking, I mean, he's just a complete liability at this point. And I understand that he is a great run blocker. I agree, he is a great run blocker. But we're not on a team where we can just run the ball all day long. We do have to pass it. And sometimes we have to pass it when the other team knows we're going to pass it. So thus we need a tackle that can hold up. Now, on this next play, I put it in here just to show how they were trying to undercut that stop route to Pickens all day long. I mean, luckily it was never intercepted, but they were doing that all day. But as we transition to this next play, this is a play where I feel like it was just very, interrupting. Right before this play, where we did this screen to CeeDee, where it's like CeeDee, he squeezed out the yards, but it was just like, why did you feel the need to throw that in there? It just felt like a forced screen. We keep trying to do these backside trick play screens, and they have not worked all year. It hasn't worked all year. I'm not sure why we continue to run them at this point. Now, on this next play, this pissed me off worse or more than the last one. Because why are we throwing 50-50 deep balls to CeeDee? That has never been his ball. And I know why Dak went to CeeDee on this play, because you can clearly see at the top of the screen there's a safety that is cheating to the right hash, or I guess from Dak's view it would be the left, but left, right hash. And it's only a 3-step drop and then you get the ball out. So he had to choose either CeeDee or Pickens on the play. I just wish that he had chose Pickens regardless of that safety cheating over, because we know Pickens can catch those balls in double coverage. We've literally seen him do it. So on this next play, you'll see that this was specifically designed for George Pickens, because CeeDee is going to clear out pretty much the middle of the field for George. And as you're going to see here, George is set to be wide open. And had Dak been able to stand in the pocket, he would have been able to deliver that ball to George on time. But he can't because, once again, a pressure is given up by Terrence Steele, which then forces Dak out of the pocket. And he tries to get the ball to George Pickens, but literally had a guy bearing down on him. So the ball was too high, and that was a failed down. Now, on this next play, you're going to see, as I shown on the screen, that George Pickens is pressed up by this corner. And so this is a play where the ball should be going to George here. But you can see that Dak doesn't even look George's way, because George is the fourth read in this progression. So he checks it down to Ferg, which then results in a freaking fumble. Like, this is what we're talking about. Yes, Pickens may have, he had 7 targets and CeeDee had 7 targets, or whatever, how many targets they had. But look at the situation. where Dak should be able to identify my number one X receiver is pressed up by this corner. That corner is no match for him. I'm going to him all day. But also, it's on Shoddy because the play design. The play design is clearly to read front side first, then go back to Pickens. And that shouldn't be, especially in this game where we were down and fighting for points. So in this next play, you're going to see that at the bottom of your screen, George Pickens is pressed up again. And he absolutely cooks that DB, cooks him. But again, he is the last read in the progression. And that is a play where George Pickens could have gotten a huge gain, could have gotten potentially a touchdown from Yak. But we ended up getting good yards there. But this drive, and we're gonna go through it. This drive ultimately stalls out, and we only get 3 points here. Now, as we get into this play, this is the first play in this series where we're in the red zone, and once again, Dak is under pressure. But even when he's under pressure, he delivers this throw to Ferg, in which he drops it. So I'm kind of getting tired of trying to force Ferg to be this red zone big body target when he's not really that. He's not really going to catch any type of contested high point balls. I know Dak wants him to be that tight end so bad, but he hasn't been that tight end in 2 years. So I want plays like that to stop in the red zone. But let's get into the next play. Now, on this next play, Dak is going to thread the needle. And he's going to get a completion here. He's going to pick up the first down. But I'm going to pause it here and look how wide open George Pickens is. This is what I'm saying, guys. We're not going to our big body red zone target in the red zone. George Pickens could not have been more wide open. And yet again, that was another play where he was the last read. So instead of Dak seeing him first and throwing that touchdown, he sees CeeDee and has to jam it in there. And, CeeDee caught it. But again, once he caught that, then let's roll the next play. You're going to see Dak got sacked and we ended up having to kick a field goal. So these are just times where these were missed opportunities in the red zone when we should have been going to Pickens, but we were going to Ferg or we were going to CeeDee. And a lot of times we just kept stalling out. Now, here's another play where George Pickens was pressed up, beat the hell out of the man in front of him, but was the last read in the progression. And I know you say, well, Star, why does it matter? CeeDee got that huge gain. And it's because CeeDee got that huge gain on a broken play, considering that George was open on time immediately. So even though it worked out there, what happens if it didn't work out? But this is why over the bye week, they've got to get these plays fixed to where Dak has either the flexibility or they're just automatically flipping the progression from George being last to George being first. Now, in this next play, this is that critical fourth down play where we turn it over on downs, and you can see that George is once again the last read in the progression. Now, he wasn't open here, but the play in the red zone should be designed for him. You can see that play was designed for CeeDee. It was a trust throw. Dak said he controlled his depth. of how far he went, deep he went, and things like that, which CeeDee went way too deep, because you can see Dak was clearly ready to throw the ball before CeeDee was even ready for the ball, because CeeDee went too deep when he only needed to get to the sticks, which I think was like 4 yards. We only needed like 4 yards. CeeDee seemed like 7-8 yards. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but he went more than 4 yards past the sticks, and thus we turned the ball over. So these are things that Shoddy has to look at, like I said, over the bye week to get it fixed. Now, as I let these next few plays run, this was actually our best drive of the game and the only drive in which we scored a touchdown. But you can see Dak was able to quickly get the ball out to Flournoy, and then he goes to Pickens, right? Pickens ends up fumbling here, but, you know, you can't get too mad at him just because, you know, we were down and he was just trying to get as much yak as possible. Shout out for Javonte for recovering that. But you see Dak goes to Pickens again. So this is what I'm talking about. You want to go to Pickens now. I get it, because we should use Pickens as the closer, but it's like you should have been going to Pickens sooner. You should have been going to Flournoy sooner, because clearly this was the Pickens and Flournoy drive, but you just wanted to really get those two involved when we're now down significantly and in 2-minute drill. And so this is why we've really, hopefully, Shoddy has really looked at this film. He said he did. He said they looked at the film over this bye week. They found out what they did good. They found out what they did bad. They want to take out things that they did bad and focus on what they did good. And you can just see how as these clips are playing, that Pickens was playing out of his mind. And he's continued to show us this, that Pickens doesn't care how far we are down. He's going to continue to play hard until the last whistle. And that's why we need to get him involved throughout the entire game plan, especially on critical downs, right? Especially in the red zone. Get him involved. You know, at first we said only the red zone, but no, you're saying Pickens is a number one elite wide receiver, just like CeeDee. So you can use him in between the 20s. You can use him inside the red zone. You can use him inside the slot. You can literally do whatever you want with Pickens, because I got this from my guy DMV. He's an easy button wide receiver. Just get the ball to him. Dak's passer rating when targeting him is like, I'll put it on the screen, but it's like 116 compared to CeeDee, which is like 83 point something. Like, we gotta get the ball to Pickens, period. But anyways, guys, I think we got the answers to our questions. How can we be more successful in the red zone? Don't get too cute. Run the ball and target George Pickens. And is George Pickens getting the proper targets or being targeted correctly? I think the answer is no. From this film review, he is not getting the proper targets. He is not getting targeted correctly, and he should be, because he deserves it. He has proven to us that he is elite, that he catches damn near everything and anything. So the coaches, Shoddy, Clay, Ken Dorsey, have a big job to do, and hopefully they got it done over the bye, so that we can see our offense return back to what it was before that Denver Broncos game and Arizona Cardinals game. But anyways, thank you guys so much for your love and support. Be sure to hit that like button on your way out. Be sure to hit the share button. Most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Please hit that subscribe button. And also leave comments down below. Please leave your comments down below, letting me know what you think of the video, letting me know what you think about the offense and George Pickens targets and our red zone woes. And also, if you feel it kindly on your heart, please donate to Stargazer Sports at $ Stargazer Sports on Cash App. Thank you guys so much. Till next time, peace.